needs to take in a ton of information, likes reading books, magazines, going through different web pages and what have you, really quick, send them to Facebook, Peter Wink, that's myself, I'll be the host tonight, Peter Wink, send them to my Facebook page, and right at the top posting is actually the link for them to sign up and get on this webinar tonight. We still have enough time to do it. It's going to probably take me a couple minutes to introduce Howard anyway. So why don't you send them an email, shoot them a phone call, text them, ping them, messenger them, whatever it takes, but get them on this webinar. And here's why, especially if they're a student. This is like an insurance policy for graduating early. It's an insurance policy for getting straight A's. So for all of you out there, please invite as many people on this call as you can tonight, this webinar, if you will. Invite as many people as you can. And then for the rest of you, make sure to get a pad of paper and a pen, pencil. And what I want you to do is take a lot of notes. We're going to be going through a whole ton of information tonight. So make sure to take a lot of notes. Write. And think about what you're writing and think about how you're going to apply this to your life. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we're about 1 minute away from starting. So we're just going to get everything set up here and make your last minute calls to your friends and emailing and texting and let everyone know about the webinar. We're going to be about 60 seconds. So stay put. All right, we are live and we are ready to get started. Good evening, everybody from coast to coast, across international waters, from all the countries of the world, all the 50 states. Welcome and thank you for coming to tonight's webinar, How to Learn Anything 100% Faster. We are going to have a lot of fun tonight. We're going to have a lot of fun. Here's the other thing I want you to remember, though. Other than I am Peter Wink, you need to say that too, author of Getting Clear of Fear, just so you know who I am. But other than just having fun, there is a very serious side to what we're doing tonight. And here's why. Information is coming to us at a huge clip, faster than ever. More stuff on the internet, books being published, magazines being published, emails going around, texts, pings, messages, you name it, information is flying and we have more things to read than ever. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to give you some lessons and we're going to give you some tips and pointers on how you can learn 100% faster and how you can increase your reading speed and be better at numbers and be better at memory and be better at writing. We're going to go through a lot of information tonight. You're going to have a lot of fun. And really quick, well, if I can do this quick, I mean, he deserves really all the accolades on the planet for being an educator. But I want to introduce my special guest tonight, and he's going to kick off the webinar, and he's going to go through everything with you. And then we're going to have some really cool offers for you if you want to get involved further in what you're learning tonight. But you're going to learn a lot tonight anyway. My special guest tonight on today's webinar is one of the most phenomenal people you could ever know. I am so proud to have him in my Rolodex, and I'm so proud to be able to call him one of my best and dearest friends. He's not only the fastest reader in the world, and not just fast. A few thousand words a minute, you're fast. You're rolling, you're moving, you're grooving, baby. He's 25,000 words a minute. 25,000 words a minute. If you can fathom that, think about that for a second. 25,000 words a minute. That's how good is he. In fact, he's the Guinness World Record holder for the fastest reader ever timed on planet Earth at any given moment. He is the fastest. He was also the spokesperson for the Sony e-reader, hanging out on the air with the likes of Justin Timberlake and Peyton Manning. I mean, you know, when you're hanging out with guys like that, you know you're in good company and you know that you really are doing something. In fact, they were sitting there on the set during the commercial taping, asking him question after question, Howard, how can I do this? How can I learn this? How can I increase my reading speed? Yeah, Justin Timberlake wants to increase his reading speed too. So think about that. He just told me a statistic today that I didn't even know. He helped launch the 4G network in Australia. And here was the kicker of that. You might be saying, well, what does the fastest reader in the world have to do with launching a 4G cellular network? Well, he didn't push the button and literally launch the network. What he did was he was in the commercials where they literally said X company is faster than how fast X can read. They used him in the ad as somebody they were comparing how fast their network was to how fast this individual reads. Beyond all that, he had one of the top infomercials in history for a program called Mega Speed Reading. He also has a learning program, Maximum Power Learning, Super Secrets for Reading, Super Secrets for Writing, Super Secrets for Math, Super Secrets for you just about name it, memory, math, writing, and reading. He has all of it. And we're going to cover all these topics tonight. And at the end, you're going to have the opportunity to go into the chat. I don't know which side of your screen it's on. I think it's over here. I think it's on the right side of the screen. You'll be able to go into the chat. And you'll be able to ask Howard any question you want. So without further ado, I want to bring out the man. I mean, the man. He's not just a speed reader. He's the speed reader. The man himself, Howard Stephen Berg. How are you, Howard?
I'm great. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. And I also wanted to remind you that Peter is also an accomplished author and has the program Getting Clear of Fear, which is an outstanding program. I'm very excited to be here tonight. I have a very full program to present with lots of skills to share with you. And at the end, I'll open it up to questions. And you'll also have an opportunity at the very end, if you choose to get the full learning system, which will take your skills to the next level. I don't believe in selling. I think that you give people so much value, and they see the value, and they realize the value. They just realize it's a no-brainer to want more value. And that's how you sell. You don't sell, you give. So without further ado, I'm going to start my slides. I'm going to see if my little box on the bottom there is in the way. I will move it out. If not, I'll just kind of stay so I can wave hello to everyone. That's me, the world's fastest reader. And the next slide, I'm going to go to, would you agree that the best learning comes from learning from the best? So if you had to learn business, wouldn't it be phenomenal if Bill Gates would personally mentor you? Or if Michael Jordan would teach you how to throw a basketball, if that's your thing? Or if my friend Peyton Manning would show you how to throw a football? Well, Bill, Michael, and Peyton couldn't make it. But I'm here, and I'm actually considered as good at what I do as they are at what they do, which is learning. I had a school where I taught students my system. And we had youngsters as young as 11 going to college. The average student in my school graduated high school with 20 to 45 college credits. We had quite a phenomenal outcome. I'm going to show you some of those people as we continue our program today. So get ready for a life-changing experience. Would you like to learn faster? Say yes. Would you like to be more productive? Say yes. And would you like to have more time for the things you love? Say yes, because that's what it's about. The one thing we don't get back every day is time. And a lot of us, especially entrepreneurs and students, our time seems to just disappear into a black hole. A lot of our time is spent learning things, learning what we do each day at work, learning our business skills, learning things for school and exams. Well, if you could cut that time in half, imagine how much more time you'd have for things you'd rather be doing. Because I'm going to give you 5 powerful keys. And actually, that's not true. I'm going to do more than 5. I decided to blow it out tonight and do more than 5. I started with 5. I'm going to show you how to read faster. I'm going to show you can stay on top of important information. You'll literally read 10 to 20% quicker just tonight. I'll show you how to maximize comprehension of even technical information. How to remember and recall what you read. I'll show you some math magic, some important emotional intelligence skills. I'll also show you how to begin eliminating writer's block. I actually wrote a book in 5 hours using that strategy, and it went #1 the next day on Amazon. Very, very important skill. Anyone in business needs to be writing at least one book to establish themselves as the authority in their niche. So when people look for who they should be using, you're the one that comes up because you're the writer. And if you're in school, you could do this for papers, reports, even dissertations and master's theses could be written in the same way. Very easy to do. Let's have fun doing it. I'm a big proponent of fun. When we're happy and we're thinking happy thoughts, our brain is learning and it's going to retain it. And take notes. Everything I show you tonight, you're going to want to remember and share it with people you care about, especially students. Right now, there's a 50% dropout rate in 4-year college and 70% dropout rate in 2-year college. And the people finishing, on average, are taking 6 years to complete a 4-year degree, which is a 50% bump in tuition, where the people I taught were graduating college in 2 to 3 years. One of them actually did it in 6 months. So this is really important information for anyone you care about that's a student and anyone in business who wants to make more money. So please take notes and please share what I'm showing you tonight. It's about helping make a better world together. Time will fly by because we're going to have so much fun. Here's one of my students. Looks like a little boy, right? A little boy who passed the bar in California at 19. Was that a fluke? Well, his brother is 22, and he's an attorney and a flight instructor. His 15-year-old sister's in her first-year law school. She will be the youngest person in history to pass the bar in California. And the second youngest will be his 17-year-old brother, who's in his second year of law school. They're all the Stanley family, and they're all using some of the skills I'm going to show you tonight. They took the full program, and that's why they got the results that they had. Because I unlocked the secret to super fast learning. I also struggled with books and magazines and mail and journals and all the other things that we need to learn each day. It started for me in Brooklyn. You may have noticed, even though I live in Texas, I don't have a native Texas accent. I grew up in Brooklyn, a place internationally renowned for people with good diction and keen intellects. Unfortunately, the part of Brooklyn I grew up in was not so great. It was the projects, and there were a lot of gangs. And I found the safest place in my neighborhood was the library. Somehow gang kids treat libraries the way vampires treat churches. They don't go there. Have you ever been in a bookstore or a library and you said, watch out, the gang kids are here. They won't be quite dead in a bookstore or a library. So I was reading a lot. By the time I was 8, I was reading the theory of relativity. I actually understood it. It was a little different. When I was 11, I had college level reading. And I went to college at 17 to the State University of New York, Binghamton, which is in the top 10 public universities in the country. And I studied biology. In my senior year, I got interested in the brain and how we learn. And I actually studied psych and bio. I went to the dean. I said, I want to do 2 majors. I don't want to just major in bio. I want to major in psych. And he looked at me and said, Howard, you're a junior. You haven't had one psych course. You'll have to do the 4-year program in 1 year and take 6 science courses at the same time. That's 18 credits of science with 2 4-hour labs. He said, frankly, you're not smart enough. And that's when it hit me. They don't teach learning in school. They tell you what to learn, why to learn, what'll happen when you don't learn, but not why you hear a song once on the radio. And you can sing it your entire life effortlessly. Then you read a book like The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and the next day you don't remember any of the habits. I said, there's got to be a way to learn things that matter the way you learn those songs. And there was. I got up to 80 pages a minute. I did the 4-year program in psychology in 1 year. And I took the graduate record exam. It's like an SAT for graduate school. And I took it in biology. And in 3 nights, I went through 48 biology books like genetics, biochemistry, cell physiology, plant systematics, not the lightest reading. And I got 3 questions wrong, which put me in the 99th percentile in the world for biologists. I was very proud of that. Years later, I was a teacher in New York, and I did a graduate course in educational psychology in 7 hours. I read the book 4 times. I took the 6-hour AP test in 50 minutes and got a B+. Peter, did you want to say something?
I was going to wait till you were finished, but I just wanted to mention to everybody, you gave a couple of very interesting numbers there, and I just don't want anybody to not connect with them. 50% dropout rate, and also the ability to graduate school years early. Just that in and of itself is a huge cost savings. I mean, with the price of college being $100,000 a year in some cases, probably more normally 25, 30, 35,000.
Even
But
state college is 15 now in a lot of states.
Absolutely. It's just absolutely insane. Think about what being able to learn faster and get out of school is going to save in time and money, number one. But also, I love the way Howard has put it in the past that, his programs that he teaches are basically programs, they're insurance policies to get A's. Howard guarantees them if people actually go through the program and they do the work and they do everything they're supposed to do, you should get A's in every single course. There should be no ifs, ands, buts, or ors. Think about it this way, too. I went to college. I went to a junior college, then I went to 2 4-year colleges so I could work quicker through my material so I can get done faster. In fact, I did Howard's original speed reading program to do that. I don't think I've even talked much to Howard about that. I used to actually work with a company that sold this program many years ago, and I actually got a copy of it, and I used it for college. I was fortunate that I found it. The punchline of that, though, is basically think about all the times you've went to school, all the different schools you've gone to, all the different teachers you've had. Who has ever sat you down and taught you how to learn? Who has actually done that? Who has actually taught you how to learn something, how to learn numbers, how to memorize things, how to write correctly, and most importantly, how to read and comprehend faster? And that's what we're doing tonight. So take it very seriously when we talk about how important it is for you to learn what you're going to learn tonight, but take it to the next level and do the graduate course, so to speak, in learning. Howard?
Yes, and thank you for that, Peter. Yeah, I want to spend a lot of time tonight on skills and actually teach you things you can take home. I'm just giving you a little background why you should listen to me. I mean, I've actually done a few things that merit your attention. My program made $65 million. That's the highest grossing infomercial for a knowledge-based program in history. That's a pretty good number to have. And we tested it. We did a double-blind efficacy study, and we took 100 people, and we gave them just the program, not me, just the program. 50 people did A and B. It was the Nelson-Denny, a standardized test for speed and comprehension, and 50 did B and A to make sure the second test wasn't easier, so that artificially pumped up their numbers. And everyone in the 100-person sample doubled to quadrupled in just 4 hours time. That's all it takes, 4 hours. And I'm going to actually start you on it tonight. So you're going to experience yourself how easy this is to learn. I've been on over 1,100 shows. My favorite, I'll be honest, I helped launch Comedy Central with Dennis Leary back in the mid-'80s when it was first launching. Dennis had me on 14, he has 14 shows. I was on 7. And I was Jon Stewart's first guest as well. I had to say, it was a lot of fun. Those guys were a lot of fun. And that's me with Justin Timberlake and Peyton Manning. I was the spokesperson for Sony for the e-reader. So while you're watching this tonight and I'm teaching you the skills, think about how it can help you succeed. Think about how it can help the people you care about succeed. The problem is information overload. More is printed each week than all human history through the year 1800. The average person only reads about 200 words per minute. And with all that information, it's almost impossible to stay on top of what you need to know. Every 6 months, information doubles. No wonder you feel like your head's going to explode with everything you need to know. And thanks to the internet, it's all accessible today. So let me show you how to start reading faster. I want you to go, after this class is over, I want you to go to a non-fiction book that's easy for you to read, preferably one you read already. Get a timer. Time yourself for 1 minute, and for a minute, read the way you read. Nothing special, just read. In the first chapter of the book, and at the end of the minute, get a pencil, mark down where you finished, put a little check mark in the margin where you were reading, and now you've done an assessment. That's how far you currently read in a minute. Now the secret sauce. I want you to take your hand in the second chapter and go across one line at a time, eyes following your hand as quickly as you can comprehend. As long as you know what you're reading, keep going quicker till you don't. So you actually found where your speed was too fast for reading, for understanding. And slow it down just enough that your comprehension comes back. And for 5 minutes, go all the way across, left to right, not down the middle, all the way across, one line at a time, eyes following your hand as fast as you can understand. Now, go back to the first chapter where you initially tested yourself. This time yourself again for 1 minute, but use your hand and go as quickly as you could comprehend. And you're going to be amazed. You're going to blow past that little check mark you made in the first minute by as much as 20%. Just doing this one easy to do, simple change. And please share this with people you care about. People that are in school, people at work. I'm giving you my permission. I want to help people. We have a dearth of people today that seem to know what's going on in the world. So helping people learn is a good thing. And I have no problem with you sharing this. Now, it takes about 4 hours to go 100% faster with outstanding comprehension, but this is actually the very first step. And when you try it later, you'll see just how easy it is and how powerful. Here's one of my students, Steven. He looks like a little boy who graduated college at 16 with a perfect 4.0 grade point average, majoring in economics. That's a phenomenal average for an adult with a major in economics. Here's the inside story. Finished at 15. His mother told him he couldn't go to graduate school till he was old enough to drive. And in Texas, you have to be 16. She made him go an extra year so he could get a driver's license. And then he went to OU at 18, and he majored in math for a master's degree. Now, they paid him $27,000 a year to teach math when he was 18 years old. Gave him free room and board, books, and tuition. Steven said to me he had one big problem. What was his problem? He was a teacher. And because he was a teacher, they wouldn't let him date undergraduates. It was unethical. He said, I'm 18. Who am I supposed to date? I said, Steven, you don't have got time to date. You're working on a master's degree in math and you're teaching full time. Date when you go home. You're 18 years old. You're getting $27,000 a year in free graduate school. You got nothing to complain about. Peter?
Howard, one of the other interesting things that I know you've discussed it before, can you give the viewers a statistic or two about how much more money you earn based on how much more you learn or how much further you go in school?
I don't know the exact number, but I do know. Let's just take an example. Who makes more money, a neurosurgeon or a dishwasher? Why does the neurosurgeon make more money? Because their information is worth more. Who makes better money, a stock investor or a janitor? You get paid in today's knowledge-based economy based on your value. And your value is based on what you know. And so information is the key today for financial success. I mean, I don't know anyone who gets up saying, I hope I know less today than I knew yesterday. I mean, it's...
Yeah. You're going to make me laugh here, but the interesting thing about that too, that a lot of people forget is because skills are constantly having to be rejuvenated, you have to learn faster. So basically anything you knew last year, you can only take a small percentage of that this year because with the new technologies and the different things that are out there now, new findings and information, you have to be able to assimilate that and make that a part of you so you can take your skills and be marketable. Because if you can't do that, there's other people who are doing that and they're going to get the job. They're going to start the company. They're going to market themselves better than you. So you have to be ready for all these challenges. And the main thing is you have to learn faster. And not only learn, you have to be able to assimilate it. You have to be able to comprehend it. And then you have to turn that information into action. Howard?
We're going to cover. I know I read, like, if you're in medical school, by the end of your second year, half of what you learned is out of date. That's how fast information is growing. Now, would you agree? Comprehension, far more important than speed. And the problem with speed reading is it didn't work. People took speed reading programs. They got much faster, but they didn't remember or understand very well. I was with Dick Cavett, famous talk show host in the 70s and 80s. And he was on MSNBC about 25, 30 years ago when it launched. And he had me on. We got to be good friends. And he told me how he was interviewing Woody Allen, who had taken Evelyn Woods. And he said, I read War and Peace in 5 minutes. And Dick said, that's incredible. What do you remember? And he said, it's about the Russian Revolution. And that's all he remembered. And that was the problem with speed reading. Nobody remembered anything. Well, I found a way to fix the problem, and it's based on a psychological principle called schema. And rather than say what the word is, I'll demonstrate it. On the next slide, I've taken away the schema. Schema is what makes text make sense to your brain. I'll read it and read it with me, and watch how confusing it is, even though it should be simple. This is an easy thing to do. Many people are able to do this at an early age. Be careful not to rush, or you may have a serious problem. And right now, you're probably confused. You don't know what it's about. But when I go to the next slide, I have a title. Just 2 words. And watch how instantly everything makes sense because the title has schema. And watch how everything makes sense when there's schema. Here we go. Bike riding. This is an easy thing to do. Many people are able to do this at an early age. Be careful not to rush or you may have a serious problem. You can learn it by yourself, but probably will want someone to help you. And now, how hard is it? If you know where the schema is, which I teach in my program, and how to find it 2, 3, 4 times faster, you're not just going to go quicker, you're actually going to have better understanding. I mentioned earlier Evelyn Woods. Well, the man who owned Evelyn Woods in its heyday, when it was world famous, was Maurice Thompson Jr. He liked the quotes of Tommy Thompson. And Tommy hired me to train his son how to speed read. Now, this man owned Evelyn Woods, and he picked me to teach his son because I fixed the problem, which was nobody wants to read faster. People want to learn faster and remember better and use the information when they need it. And that's what I do. And I'm going to be showing you more about how to remember and learn tonight. Now, here's a good question you should ask yourself if you're in business. What are you doing to make your products and services easy to comprehend? How many times have you been given good information, when you bought a product or a service, and by the time you got home, you were confused. You didn't understand what they told you. And it didn't work because you didn't understand what they told you. When we communicate with our prospects and clients, we need to be on their map, not our map, so the words make sense to them and not just to us. We're experts. We know what we're talking about. They don't. So it's very important to watch how you explain things to people so that it makes sense to them. How will you use this? Well, imagine cutting your study time in half and becoming more productive, or imagine finishing your required reading in a few nights instead of poring over books week after week, or having more free time, becoming more productive, and ultimately profitable. Now, I've read almost 30,000 books, and I like to think if I was a total idiot, I'd be well informed. Every decision you make is based on only one thing: what you know. If you know more, you have more choices, more options, more dots on your map, so you could see things everyone else is missing because you see information in your map that they didn't take the time to learn. That's how people become rich, like Peter was talking about. Why was Bill Gates so successful? He saw an opportunity no one else saw. Amazon, Apple, we see every day these companies that are looking at the same problem everyone else was looking at, but saw a new way to do it. And what happened? The person who was the visionary, who got in on the ground floor, became incredibly wealthy. It's all about using information. That's it. So, this is one of my students. A lot of times people will say, aren't all these kids geniuses? Justin was a normal kid, a C student. Started my program. He graduated high school at 15. Got his associate's degree at 17. His bachelor's degree at 19. C student, remember. Got a master's degree in English at 21. He became a professor at Tarrant Community College at 22. C student, college professor at 22. What changed? How he learned. One of the things we learned in my program, we never taught anyone anything until we taught them how to learn. Before we taught them science, before we taught them math, before we taught them anything, we taught them how to read, how to write, how to remember, how to do math, how to think, how to solve problems. And then we taught them subjects, and they flew through their subjects because they understood how to learn. The single most important skill you can learn in today's knowledge-based economy, how to learn. Now, this is the most important skill of all in the repertoire of skills, and it's called emotional intelligence. What's that? Imagine I'm training you on how to drive. You're going to me for driving school lessons. And I say, you know what? You're ready. Go take your road test. And you are ready. You know how to drive. How many people have failed the road test not because they didn't know how to drive, because it was a test and they got nervous? How many of you have had that happen on other tests? Or maybe it was a long test like an SAT or an LSAT or a GMAT, and you got so tired, all you could think was, I don't care anymore, I just want to go home. What does it do to your performance? What if there was a way to create the states that you needed to be successful? So when you needed to succeed, you could create the state. There is, and I'm going to teach it to you now. I'm going to show you how to get more energy. So when you're taking a long exam or in a long meeting and your energy drops, you can wake up. Maybe you're driving home in traffic and you're feeling tired. Wake up. So what I need you to do for this one exercise is stand up. If I stand up, you'll just see my navel. So you don't want to see that. I don't even want to see it. So stand up. And here's what I'm going to ask you first. The left side of your brain controls which part of your body? The right. And your right brain controls which part of your body? The left. So we're going to do something simple. Please do this with me. Take your left hand, touch your right shoulder. Take your right hand, touch your left. Alternating, like the Macarena, but without the music. It's actually a brain massage. Now do the same thing, left hand to right knee, right hand to left knee, alternating. Perfect. Now raise your right hand and make a fist with your thumb in your fist, squeeze it tightly, and say this like you mean it. I feel great. Say it like you mean it. I feel great. And now pull your hand down. Yes! With passion, like Tony Robbins does. Yes! We're going to do 3 sets of these. Please move at my speed. And when you're done, I'll show you how to use what you're learning to wake up whenever you need, get a rush of energy. We'll start with the shoulder taps, starting with left to right. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do you feel? I feel great. Yes. Same thing, but a little quicker. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do you feel? I feel great. Yes. Last time, go full out as fast as you can. And if you're near a table, move back just enough so you don't bang your knees, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do you feel? I feel great. Yes. Give yourselves a big hand. Smile. Sit down and feel great. Now, do you know what happens when you do this 3 times? Nothing. Now, probably with like something. So let me explain how to do that. Remember Pavlov? He rang a bell, he fed a dog. He rang a bell, he fed a dog. He rang a bell, and then the dog drooled. You don't want to drool, but you want more energy. What you did is you stimulated the left and the right, then both together, and you went quicker and quicker. So you got more and more energy. And at the peak of feeling the energy, you squeezed your thumb and said, I feel great. Yes, that's your bell. The latest studies show it takes 90 days to create a habit. They used to say 30. It's 90. And so every day for the next 3 months, slow, medium, fast. Slow, medium, fast. Every day. And now you're in an important meeting. You don't want to do this at the meeting. You'll look a little weird. But you can grab your thumb and say to yourself, even in your car during traffic, I feel great, yes. And what would you feel? You'd feel that rush of energy you just felt. You're creating a conditioned stimulus and a conditioned response. Very easy to do. Now, one thing very important, you have to actually feel great. I was on the Joe Franklin show, longest running show in the history of television. 48 years, one person. Now, there have been longer running shows like Meet the Press, but they've had multiple hosts. This was a single man on TV for 48 years on one show. And I was fortunate to be on that show the last 3 weeks of its 48-year run. And I sat next to him. And during the commercial break, I said, what's the secret? How did you manage to get the longest running show in history? And he smiled and he said, sincerity. And when you could fake that, you could do anything. I want you to know, nobody can fake sincerity for 48 years. I don't care how good you are. No one's that good an actor. You need to feel great when you say, I feel great. So when you're releasing it and wanting to feel great, you're really feeling the way you felt. If you just say, I feel great, yes, and you're not really feeling anything, you're not anchoring the state. In the same way, it could teach you to anchor relaxation, focus, concentration, even genius. And so we could create the states we need to be successful at whatever it is we do, and then trigger those states when we need to use them. Very, very powerful. See, unlike most of these programs, they just teach reading fast. I use reading for finding what I need, I use memory to remember it. I use emotional intelligence so I can use it when I need it. All these things put together create an outstanding experience. Now, this is an important business question. In your businesses, what are you doing to help create the states that the people using your products and services need to have to succeed? And what are you doing to help eliminate states like fear of taking a test? If I was teaching you to drive and I not only taught you how to drive, but how to stay relaxed when taking the road test, how much better would your results be? Very, very important. We need to be doing this to keep people successful at what we're helping them do. How do you use this? Well, you can increase your own productivity, reduce your stress level, and empower other people for success. Now I want to add overcoming writer's block. A lot of people tell me how hard it is to get the copy done they need at work or finish those reports they need to do at school. What causes writer's block? The key is getting into flow. And there's two things causing a problem. The way we normally express our thoughts is what I'm doing now. We talk. We talk. But when we write, we use our hands instead of our mouths to communicate. So the brain has to take the information not through the mouth, but through the hands. And getting started, there's often inertia. It's hard to get started because it has to reroute what it's doing. But once you get started, keeping it going is easy, as evidenced by the phone rings and you're talking and writing at the same time. When you started, you couldn't do anything. Now you're writing and talking at the same time. So getting started is hard because you have to shift the thoughts to your hands to type or write instead of using your mouth. Second problem is a conflict between left and right brain. Left brain is your editor, your spell checker. Your right brain is the storyteller. Doesn't care about grammar and spelling and style. So here's what's happening. And see if you can relate to this. You write 10, 15, 20 lines, and then you look at it. You go, this is terrible. And you hit delete. And you go and write some more. And you look at it again. And this is even worse. And you hit delete. And hours later, there's nothing there. You're trying to write and to edit at the same time. Never do that. What you want to do is alternate writing with editing. I have a 3-hour program just on how to do this. If you do this correctly, it takes less time to get your writing done and you get much better results because you're not trying to perfect and write at the same time. Each part of your brain is maximizing what it's best at. The creative brain is telling the story, basically creating a C minus, D plus presentation. And then the right brain perfects it, takes it up to that A level. By doing this in 2 stages instead of 1, you get more done in less time with better results. Speed math, that's another one people struggle with. Right now, statistically, 38% of high school graduates can't count fractions and decimals in the 12th grade, and 28% can't read. So math is a bigger problem. I'm going to show you how easy math is. Here's the problem. 103 times 107. You should have the answer right now without a calculator. Yes, it's that simple when you know how. Do you know the difference between an easy question and a hard question? I'm going to ask you, what's your birthday? And I bet that's an easy question. If I said, what's my birthday? You'd probably go, I don't know. Hard question. My birthday's July 31st. What's my birthday? July 31st. There are no hard questions when you know the answer. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to do this math. Now, this is a special problem. Both numbers are greater than 100 and close to 100. So they're between 100 and 110. First thing you notice is they're both close to 100 and greater than 100. How much larger than 100 is 103? 3. How much larger than 100 is 107? 7. So let's write that down next to the numbers 3 and 7. Easy. And just multiply the two differences. 3 times 7 is 21. How hard was that? That's the hard step. Now the easy step. Add diagonally. 103 plus 7 is 110. How much is 107 plus 3? 110. Good news, it's always the same answer. So whichever way is easier to add, do it, because it's the same answer. And let's write down our answer, 110. So 103 times 107 is 11,021. How much math did you just do? That's how hard math is, when you know how to use brain-based learning to perform math. How will you use this? Create instant report. Anybody here watching TV lately? Is there anyone watching who feels there's too many smart people in this country making too many good decisions? I haven't heard that lately. Now, if somebody's actually intelligent and knows what they're doing, is that someone you want to keep? Instant rapport. So let's say I'm an accountant or a financial planner or in any business where there's numbers, which is practically every business, and you crunched numbers like I just did in front of a prospect or client as quickly as I did, and it's correct. What's the chances that person becomes a client for life? That's a smart person. We need to work with them. Instant rapport. It increases your own efficiency, and I think it's fun. Now, the last skill I want to teach you tonight is memory. Because people will often say, Howard, you read fast, do you remember anything? Absolutely, but it doesn't matter if I remember, it matters if you remember. So I'm going to show you a way to speed memorize. We're going to learn 10 things. You're going to remember pole, shoes, tricycle, car, glove, gun, dice, skate, cat, and bowling pins. Is it safe to say that right now you don't remember the whole list, but you will in just a couple of minutes from now? Let's do this together. The Greeks discovered thousands of years ago a shortcut. If you have a list you know and you link it to a list you want to know, it takes less time. I know everyone watching tonight can count to 10. We're going to use the numbers from 1 to 10 to learn 10 things super fast. The first thing we're going to learn is a 1 looks like a pole. A 1 looks like a pole. So when I say 1, you say pole. 1, pole. Do this with me. This isn't just an exercise, it's a tool that you'll be able to use at work and give your kids to use at school, or your neighbor's kids, or your nieces, or your nephews. 2, how many shoes do you wear? 2. So 2 is shoes and 1 is pole. You're doing great. 3 is tricycle. How many wheels are on a tricycle? 3. So 3 is tricycle. 2 is shoes and 1 is pole. You're doing great. 4 is a car. How many tires on a car? 4. So 4 is a car. 2 is shoes. 1 pole and 3 tricycle. Fantastic. 5 is a glove. How many fingers are in a glove? 5. So 5 is a glove. 3 tricycle. 1 pole. 6 gun. They love them in Texas where I live. 6 gun. What's 6? Gun. What's 4? Car. And what's 2? Shoes. You're doing great. 7 is lucky in dice. 7 is dice. So what's 7? Dice. 5, glove. 5 fingers in a glove. 3, tricycle. And 1 is pole. Rhymes work. Say 8 skate, 8 skate, 8 skate. What's 8? Skate. What was 6? What did they live in Texas? A gun. 4, car. 2, shoes. You're almost done. 9, cat. Cat has 9 lives. What's 9? Cat. 7 was lucky in dice. 5, glove. 3, tricycle. 1, pole. We're almost there. You're getting really smart. How many bowling pins in a lane? 10 bowling pins. Let's do the list together now and see how well you remember it. 1, pole. 2, shoes. 3, tricycle. 4, car. 5, glove. 6, gun. 7, dice. 8, skate. 9, cat. And 10, bowling pins. And how does it make you feel? Great. And when you feel great, do that because it's sincere and it strengthens it. So you just learned all 10 things you pegged. How can you use this? Imagine you're learning geometry and you want to learn the value of pi is 3.14 to measure a circle. Remembering numbers can be hard, so we're going to use the pictures instead of the numbers. 3 is a tricycle, 1 is a pole, and 4 is a car. Make a movie. Tricycle hits a pole on a car. Picture that. Tricycle hits a pole on a car. Tricycle, what number? 3. Hits a pole, what number? 1. On a car, what number? 4. You just memorized pi. Tricycle, pole, car. You can use this to learn due dates, percentages, room numbers in a hotel. Your kids can use this in school for science and math and history. It's perfect, easy to do, and fun. I taught this to my grandkids when they were 3 years old. It's really easy to learn. What are you doing in your businesses to make the information you give to your prospects and clients easy for them to remember? Don't just tell people what they need to know, but how to remember it when they need to use it. How will you use this? You can learn names and facts and numbers, even languages, super fast. Like my student Brad, who finished 4-year college in 6 months and then learned Chinese in 3 weeks. True story. He is a genius. I'm not going to tell you that's average. Most of my kids did college in 2.5 to 3.5 years. Brad was exceptional. Speaking of exceptional, I have a very special opportunity tonight to learn my full learning program, reading, writing, memory, and math. So please pay attention because this is not an offer I make every day. First, we have my reading program, which is on DVD. It's video. We guarantee you'll learn 100% faster. We know from the study it'll happen. So you can make better decisions, make more money, and empower the kids in your life to get higher grades. Did you know right now more people between 26 and 40 live at home with their parents than are married? That's a fact. So you can get my program or you can have your kids living with you till they're 40. What works better for you? It's true. I couldn't make that up. Writing is eliminating writer's block, reading people like a book, completing writing on time for social media, web copy, marketing copy, just so you can get that writing you need done and do it super fast and effectively. Memory, names, facts, details, languages, even more. And math, I showed you a little taste, just a little bit, but it's for adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, and squaring. Now this retails individually for $888 if you bought them one at a time. But tonight, it's a special thank you for coming. $297 for everything. And one more very important bonus. If that's all I gave you, it would be well worth it. But I also want to give you my monthly advanced learning program, 12 advanced lessons that'll take you to the next level. More speed up drills, hand motions, specifics on how to boost learning and understanding, how to focus and concentrate and more. Valued at $247, it's included in the $297 as a gift. It's totally risk-free. I'll give you my cell phone number. My number, not an office, not an assistant. My number. And if you need my help, I will help you. And so you're getting all of that. And it's only $297. And there's two ways you could get it. You could go from howard.com/learning bonus. I'll have this up again. From howard.com/learning bonus. If all you want to do is just try reading for tonight, you could go online. I have a recording of the reading program. It's just a recording. And for $100, you could try just the reading program, nothing else, from howard.com reading bonus. I'm going to put the opportunity up here. There's actually a link you could click on your screen right now that you can use. You could use the links on the screen, or you could use the link that I'm showing right now on your screen to get the whole system. Remember, not only will you get the whole program online instantly, you'll get me. I will personally work with you one-on-one. And if you're not sure for any reason, you could go from howard.com/appointment. And I will do a free 30-minute one-on-one appointment with you to find what your learning needs are and make sure that you get what you need. I'm here to help you. I was a teacher for 10 years. It's not just about money to me. It's about making a difference. I want to make sure you don't just get my material. You get me. And I make sure that you actually learn what you paid for. Peter, would you like to say a few things?
Yeah, as somebody who's worked in the education industry for so long, working in personal development, I have to say it's really, really important that everybody take this offer seriously. It's not just about the offer. It's learning to read correctly, learning to write correctly, have a better memory, and do math. Here's one other thing that's really important to understand, and it's easy to gloss over this. In fact, Howard, could you put the link up to the whole system again, just solely on the screen?
I think it's there. It's not there right now?
You have two links on here. I'm looking for the one link for the big.
I'm sorry. On the screen. Hold on. Oh, is the screen showing? I'm not sure. Can you see it?
Yes, I actually think I can.
Okay, let me go to the previous. I'm sorry.
This is it, right?
There it is. And also, I have an actual link on the program. You can actually click on your screen, on the right side of your screen. There's a live link. It says click here, and that will automatically take you to the program online. So you don't have to do anything. Just click that blue button.
Just a couple of other things. It's really important to get these 4 skills down. There's nothing says amateur, rookie, don't hire this person, don't keep this person if you hire them, than looking at their writing. I will, as an executive, I will not keep people with poor writing skills. I just won't do it. It's too important these days. Everybody's is used to typing. They're not even typing correctly. You have to learn how to write. You have to learn how to read correctly to comprehend information, so you don't just read a page and you forget what you read and waste all that time. You have to learn how to comprehend. This program will double your reading speed, and in some cases, I know that it's tripled, quadrupled, and even 5 times the reading speed for some people.
Most people go 2 to 4.
It's mostly twice, but people have had much better results. And I could say that because I know people who actually have had those results. This isn't Howard talking. This is Peter talking. But it's very important to go through the writing program. It's important to go through the math program. Very few people could do math anymore. They don't even know the multiples of 12, which is just outright freaking disgusting to me in this day and age. And definitely memory. You have to learn how to memorize different things. And all these things work together, quite frankly. So when you read, you'll have better memory. You'll understand your numbers and what you're reading. And you're going to be able to go through things so much quicker. But I'm going to do something here that Howard doesn't even know about. But I have to ask the question before I make this offer, Howard. Are you trusting in me that I'm doing something that you'll approve of?
Yes.
You can look at Howard's face. You can tell he does not know.
No, honestly, he didn't tell me. I have no idea what he's going to say.
Okay. So Howard's done this incredible offer, $297. You get all 4 programs. You get the super memory secrets, super math secrets, super writing secrets, and reading secrets
And
for
the 12
$297.
lessons.
He's going to throw in 12 bonus lessons, right? You're going to get all that. I mean, so far we're looking at over $800 just worth of retail products for $297. But here's the thing. Forget this free reading thing. Here's the thing. Anybody who purchases tonight, now hear what I said. You got to purchase tonight. I'm not keeping this open forever. In fact, Howard may fall out of his chair when I make this offer. For all of you out there who purchase tonight, I want you to think about the kids in your family. Just think about the kids in your family for a second, or kids that you know. Your sons, your daughters, your nieces, your nephews, your grandkids, your relatives, kids that are in grammar school, kids that are in high school, kids that are in college. In fact, we'll call kids college kids, but, you know, young adults in college. And those of you who know people who are in night school, taking night classes. This is for students only. Now, any of you can listen in because you bought the program. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to add in a 1-hour straight webinar tailored to your kids and teach them how to get A's in school and how to properly learn. We'll talk a little bit about the environment of school and how to use that to your advantage. We're going to go through a whole bunch of different things for students only. So if you purchase tonight, you are purchasing a class for the kids in your family, for your relatives, for maybe your boss's kids. Anybody, as long as you bring them in and you invite them that night, you're going to get a special key code from us. We'll send you all the details within 24 hours. I mean, we didn't plan to do this, so
I didn't know you were doing it. Actually, I'll show them how to eliminate test anxiety too. So one of the biggest problems I hear from parents is their kids get nervous, and there is a way to fix that, and I'll teach it. I
was like that. I went in thinking I was going to fail, before college. I thought of that all the time, and I finally learned how to correct that. We'll cover that, according to Howard, we'll cover that on this webinar. But Howard and I are very dedicated to education. We're very dedicated to education. That's why we do what we do. That's why we have home study courses. That's why we do these things. That's why we're published authors. It's not about the money. You do not make a lot of money as an author. I can tell you that right now. Maybe if you're J.K. Rowling or Hillary Clinton or some famous celebrity, they give you. They don't do that for anybody. But we love education. We want to help out. This is a special bonus. In fact, the two of us have never done this before at all. We've never even done this webinar together. We're going to have this all brand new for the kids in your family. If you go to this link right now on your screen, www.fromhoward.com/learning bonus. If you do that tonight, you get all 4 programs, you'll get the 12 advanced lessons, and you will get an education for the children in your family and for the children of your friends. That you have to act tonight. Howard?
I'm happy to do it. I really one of the things I do, I'm in the Rotary. I'm actually the program director for my district. And one of the things that attracted me to Rotary is education. There's different pillars in Rotary. Some people join for water projects. Some try to eliminate polio. For me, it was education. So anything that helps young people learn and perform better in school, I'm happy to do it. So please, you could go to the link on your screen, or you could click on the right side of your screen where it says click here. If you could see that on your screen, and you could click and automatically be taken to the offer. Before we finish, I want to see, does anyone have a question? I'm going to go into chat.
We have a question up here from Lewis Almad. When I read faster, I get a headache, and I think it's because I read too fast. Could you tell me what I can do to relax my brain, or what things I could eat to help my brain? Howard?
Oh, that's actually a couple questions. Let me answer them individually. First, the eating one. Do you know that eating eggs and pancakes is not the same as eating pancakes and eggs? And you say, whoa, wait a minute. What are you talking? whichever food you eat first in the morning will affect your learning state afterwards. If you eat carbohydrates first, the pancakes, then you're going to be sluggish and slow. If you eat the protein first, you're going to be more alert. That's why many people after lunch in the afternoon are sluggish about 2:30, 3 o'clock. They feel like they're falling asleep. What most people are doing erroneously, they'll drink a bottle of soda, or they'll have the chips or the fries, and then eat the meat. So they're loading up with the carbs, and then they're loading up with the protein, and it makes them sluggish. Now, carbs are great if you're anxious, if you want to go to sleep early or you want to be calm. Have a nice bowl of pasta, and you'll slow down. But if you're trying to be alert, you want to be eating protein first and then the carbs. That's half the question. The other part is how to relax your brain. I'll be honest with you, it takes about 20 minutes to teach that. It's one of my advanced lessons. When I teach, I was a yogi. I don't know if everybody knows that. When I was younger, when I got out of college, I was interested in consciousness. And I studied meditation and yoga, and I learned how to focus. And I'll give you a really quick lesson on how to do it, but there's a longer one in my advanced class. If you sit with your feet flat on the floor, your hands in your lap, you close your eyes, and all you want to do is think of the number 1, just the number 1, and breathe in and out slowly. And your brain will wander. And when you become conscious it's wandering, go to the number 2, and then the number 3, and so on. And time yourself for 20 minutes. And when it's over, you'll find that you've reached a certain number. Each day you do this, the number will come down. You're learning that you can control your thoughts and not be controlled by your thoughts. Now that's the first step in learning to do this. As I mentioned, that's why I put that in my advanced program, because I think, as you said, Louis, it's really, really, really important. And I didn't want to gloss over it in 3 minutes like I'm doing now. I wanted to spend a significant amount of time offering a number of different ways to calm the mind. And they're all very important. They also help you to focus so you don't get distracted. When I'm reading the healthcare bill at 80 pages a minute, and it's 1,500 pages, a 1-second distraction is 2 to 3 pages. I can't afford for that to happen. So this is how I'm able to stay in state. Before I do those shows, I focus for 90 minutes. So I have total control over my mind. And I can teach that to you, but I can't teach it in 3 or 4 minutes. The reading program, Alan, is just four hours long. The whole reading program by itself, 4 hours long. It's that fast. I wanted it to be easy because when you're trying to solve a problem, I think the solution should be easier than the problem you're solving. And it used to take 3 months, going 3 hours a week to learn to read fast. And if you had that much extra time, you don't need a reading program. So for me, 4 hours, that's all it should take. And at the end of that, you're reading 100% faster. Then an hour a month for a year, an hour a month, and I could take you up to the next level gently, gradually, without taking up huge amounts of your time, teaching skills like the one you asked on how to stay relaxed. And that's why I have an advanced program. And that's why I'm giving it away tonight. I'm not charging for that. I'm giving it as a gift to say thank you. Thank you for coming here tonight. And I will also do that other program with Peter to help the young people. And some of you may have kids, some of you may not. You know what? You don't have kids, you know someone who does. Could be a sister or a brother. It could be friends. Invite their kids. I don't care. It's about helping people. And if you get the program, I will give you carte blanche. Invite as many kids and families as you want to the free webinar. I have no problem with that. I'm happy to help. Right, Peter? That's okay with you?
Oh, absolutely. I'm all about education. That's why I do what I do and you do what you do. Howard, you have another question here from James.
James, okay.
Could you briefly explain how you shut off the voice in your head for reading and began seeing your reading as a movie?
Very good question, James. When most of us read, there's a little person in the back of our head pronouncing one word at a time. As you increase your speed using my system, you go so fast the little person can't keep up. And so I start seeing movies instead of hearing conversations. For example, let's say you're reading about Mick Jagger. You could be seeing the word Mick Jagger, or you could see Mick Jagger. And when you see the picture in your mind, it's quicker than the word. So I was reading a book, it was Lady Boss by Jackie Collins. And I had to read the 700-page book in 5 minutes. And so some of the characters were listed in the table of contents, like on the flap. And I made pictures of these people. And when they appeared in the book, instead of hearing the name at 80 pages a minute, two of the names were Mike and Mo. Or Mo and Mel. At 80 pages a minute, Mo and Mel sound very similar. But I had a picture. And so even though it's going really fast, I saw Mo like I would see Mick Jagger. I saw Mel. And I didn't hear the word, I saw it. And I was able to go much faster. And the sound went away. And when you take the program, it takes about two and a half hours to slow the voice down. Now, James, you don't want to totally shut the voice off. You want to remember things that matter, like important words or names or formula, things that matter. And part of what I teach in the program are the 5 things that matter and how to find them. Those things you want to hear. Everything else you can go super fast and see movies. I hope that helps. And any other questions? Anyone? I'd be happy to answer them while I'm here.
Howard, you have one more question from Ben. Does the course help with auditory learning as well?
Yes, especially the writing program. One of the things I'm going to teach you is how to tune into people's wavelength. Have you ever felt like you're talking in AM and they're in FM? There's a reason people communicate in different styles. By learning to identify the wavelength of the person learning what you're doing, you get more rapport. So in my program, what I've done is I have auditory, I'm speaking. I have visual, there's slides and videos and movies, so you're seeing. And there's lots and lots of exercises that are kinesthetic. You're moving your hands through the books, you're doing exercises. So absolutely, it's all 3, auditory, visual, and kinesthetic. And I did it very consciously. And in the writing program, I go into great detail on these different styles and how to identify them and how to communicate to different people on their precise wavelength. It's not in the reading program per se for that purpose, but it is in the program, it is in the writing program, and it is in the advanced program too, I believe.
Excellent, Howard. I think that's it on questions. If anybody else has another question, put it up in the text box right now or forever hold your peace.
So go to the page right now to get your programs. Remember, you have a total satisfaction guarantee. So there's absolutely no risk. I'm taking the risk. I'm going to give you my cell phone. So if you need my help, you will be able to reach me directly. All I ask is you text me, tell me what your question is. I'll tell you when I'm free, and I will personally get on the phone and work with you to make sure that you don't just get the program, you learn the program. So you could go to the link on your screen, or you could go on the side where the offer is showing right now, where it says click here. Either way, you'll get the programs, the advanced lessons, and the invitation to the webinar that I'll do with Peter for students.
Yeah, absolutely. And we also have the link at the top of the text so everybody could see the fromhoward.com/learning bonus. Ben, I can answer this question for you. It's downloadable, so there's no problem. You could buy it, you'll instantly get it, correct, Howard?
It streams online. They don't download it, but they will see the video online. I'm using Infusionsoft. A lot of you know Infusionsoft is the Rolls Royce of these programs. And when you get the program, it automatically will send you a link with a password and a link to the programs, and you'll be able to watch them instantly. If for any reason you need my help, you can contact me, and I'll make sure that if there's a problem and systems don't always work, you let me know, I'll fix it. and make sure that it works. That's why I'm giving you my personal contact information to make sure that I can help you. But 99% of the time, it's fine. It works most of the time.
Addie wants to know what your favorite book is.
There's a lot of favorite books. It depends on the subject. But since a lot of you are business-oriented, the best book I read in that area is Donald Moines, Moines, Unlimited Selling Power. It's a very powerful book for anyone who's got a company or is in marketing and wants to be maximizing their success. For that niche, it's my favorite book. There are many books that I've read that I found were my favorites, but in their niche, in their individual niches.
What's another one? I'm actually curious. What's your favorite personal development book?
Okay, I'm trying to think of the name of it. Franz Bardone, Initiation into Hermetics, and it's a freaky book. I'm going to tell you right now.
I know it's freaky.
It's freaky. This guy is supposed to be like on the top tier of people, like a master, the master of masters, and the things that he discusses are things that go way beyond anything you would ever think a book would talk about. I can't tell you if it's real. I can't tell you if it's an imaginary tale. I could just tell you it's really, really interesting. And I if I had to only read one book on how to develop my mind and my soul, that would be Franz Bardone, Initiation into Hermetics. That's probably, if someone said, Howard, you could only own one book, and I have a lot of books, that would be my one book.
Can you repeat the name of it?
Franz Bardone, Franz, Bardone, Bardon, Initiation into Hermetics, and I would buy the version that's in English and not in German. Unless you speak German, you probably will want it in English. I'm telling you right now, it's pretty out there. But it was so interesting and so different. I found it to be fascinating. I can't tell you if what it's saying is true. I can only tell you that what it's saying is one of the most interesting. Well, it's sort of like when you watch these ancient aliens and stuff. You're like, I don't know if it's real, but it's interesting. It's not your run-of-the-mill book. And
hey, Jamie said something about from howard.com/learning bonus is showing an error. It looks like you have learning dash bonus in the link you have in here. Could you verify that? Because we checked earlier and it was working.
Right now. Give me a second. From howard.com/learning bonus. Okay, it's working on my computer.
Yeah, it looks like, Jamie, you have a dash between learning and bonus.
No dashes. And if you're not sure, just click on the link on your screen. You see where it says click here? Can you see that, Peter, on the right-hand side where it says offers? Is it showing?
I cannot, but I have it at the top of the text box anyway.
Okay, if you click on the right side, I actually have the offer. Then you could just click on it right there on your screen, and it should take you right there. And if you
it's up at the top of the text box. They could all see it.
Yeah, it's right there. And for any reason, if you do have a problem, let me give you my cell phone. You could call me tomorrow because I'll be going to sleep shortly after this. My phone number is 214-952-9150. That's my cell phone, 214-952-9150. If you're having any problems placing an order, text me and I'll call you back and I'll make sure that you get. If I have to, I'll send me an email and I'll send you the link back in an email. I'll make sure that you can get it. I will make sure that it works for you.
Yeah, it's working. It looks like Jamie said that he's got it now.
Perfect. I try to help people. I mean, that's really what we're here for. I want people to know it's not just about selling. It's about making a difference. Yes, I want to make sales. That's how I pay my bills. But I want to earn what I get. And I want to make sure that when people trust me to teach them something, I go all out to make sure they actually get what they paid for.
Well, speaking of learning, you have one more question from Lewis. Okay. Last question. When I read 1 page per second, I can outthink all my friends, but I see in multicolor. Is that normal or is that a signal I need to slow down?
No, it's neither. Um, you have what's called sensorama. There are people who their senses blend, and what's happening is your brain is converting the information into sounds or colors. I have something like that happening as well. That's not your typical learner, but it's a phenomenon in psychology. Like some people can taste music or they can smell numbers, and it's like different parts of their brain are connecting that normally would not be connecting for certain types of activities like reading. In your case, this is happening. It's a gift. It's not something that can be taught. It's just how your brain is wired. So I would say, no, it isn't normal. It isn't something everyone can do, but it's a gift that you have. And be glad that you have it, because it'll help you to do certain things better than anyone could possibly do who doesn't have that. It's not a typical thing, but it isn't unheard of. It is a phenomenon where senses blend.
Excellent. Any other questions, anyone, or we'll wrap it up tonight and everybody can go grab their programs. Anybody
I'm here.
going once, going twice? All right, Howard Berg's cell phone number is right under my name, 214-952-9150. Feel free to call him anytime you want, 24/7. Just give him a text before.
No. Don't call me 24/7. Text me. Send me a text, and I will get back to you. Thank you, Peter. No, I don't want to get text 24/7. Text, I don't care. But don't call me at 4 in the morning. I'm not as friendly at 4 in the morning as I am right now. I'm reading a book right now. I want to know if you.
Yeah. I'm having trouble with this line, Howard. What do I do?
Oh, goodness. But
right,
I will
everybody,
help
we're gonna
you.
wrap up.
I will make sure you.
Thank you all for being on here tonight. On behalf of myself and Howard Berg, have a terrific evening or morning wherever you are. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Thanks so much for coming. Take advantage of this opportunity, and please share this with people you care about. You have my permission to let other people who have children and family that you care about, people at work, tell them about this opportunity. Till next time, this is Howard Berg wishing you and yours the best of success. Thank you for coming, and I look forward to working with each of you one-on-one in the future. Take care.